Hey everyone, I'm just giving you a quick look at the latest deck. My last one I played a couple games and I didn't really go over what had changed. Just basically, we took out the thermal karsts. I'm only playing in the two-man queues at the moment, and I haven't run into Teps at all. So I'm not sure if it's not popular in the two-man queues, or I know I definitely ran it for a long period of time. But mostly I've been running into mono green aggro, infect, um, and really those are the only ones with any consistency. I've played 8 post I think once. I guess I've done fairies a couple times also. So I just moved the thermal karst to the sideboard. And basically what I replaced those 4 slots with were the 2 extra Essence Wardens and 2 Verdarin Longbow. And the reason why I put in the Essence Warden is because against mono green aggro and fairies they're actually pretty good. Since they typically don't have any way to remove it the first game, after you get maybe 1 or 2 out, it becomes very difficult for them to race you. And basically you can get either Timberwatch Elf or a Huntsmaster online in either Swarm or you can just sort of stall the game out much longer so that way you can get one of those 2 cards active. Even drawing a Distant Melody and casting is pretty much a game breaker, as you have too many cards or too much card advantage for them to overcome. So we had 2 extra slots, and I had posted this deck list on pdcmagic.com, which is like a Pauper dedicated website, and somebody on the forums named Lenny, he actually suggested Verdarin Longbow. He said they had a deck very similar to mine, and that he was running, I think, 4 Verdarin Longbow between either main and side. I'm not sure which. I don't remember the post word for word at the moment, but he suggested I try a Verdarin Longbow, and just in the couple test games I had last night, it actually shores up a lot of the problems of the decks that I've been seeing, such as against Infect or against Fairies. A lot of their creatures are 1 toughness creatures, and as soon as you get a Longbow active, it's actually pretty hard for them to win. Even some of the games last night, as soon as I got Longbow active and attached to something, I thought to myself, if I'm the other player, there's not actually a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do to win the game. So again, the sideboard is still pretty much in flux, although I do like what we have so far. The 4 thermal karsts are for 8 post. Typically those come in for Distant Melodies, and I normally take out sometimes a Birchlore Ranger. I may take out a Verdarin Longbow. I haven't really played the matchup yet with this configuration, or if I did, I don't remember exactly what I took out, but the reason for that is because they side into much more removal, so it's less likely your guys are going to be sticking around, and sitting with a bunch of Distant Melodies in your hand is not very good. I also like to bring in Spider Silk Armor to shut off Seismic Shudder. But again, it's sort of dependent on, I guess I'm not 100% sure. There's 7 cards that we'd want to actually bring in, but there's not a whole lot of cards we'd actually like to take out. So it's very much up in the air still. If I bring in all these cards, which ones I'm bringing in, which ones I'm taking out. The other ones have been for, or the other sideboard cards, Moment's Peace, Spider Silk Armor. Actually, I'm sorry, I'll just go over Spider Silk Armor. Spider Silk Armor is mostly in there for sideboard games where you feel your opponent is going to side any sort of a 1/1 or -1/-1 removal spell or 1 damage removal spell, such as Seismic Shudder, Holy Light, Shrivel, Nausea, Festering Creeps. Also against Fairies, even though, and we'll get to the other sideboard cards in a minute, even though a lot of the fairy lists that I've been seeing are running Echoing Truth now, which the people that I've played yet, I don't believe are playing the matchup correctly. I had one guy basically use Echoing Truth on my Timberwatch Elves, although he may have had another Echoing Truth for my Spider Silk Armors, but after Spider Silk Armor gets down, it's pretty hard for them to ever attack profitably, and it's just very good, because then you stall out the game, and then you can get your basically you can get your other creatures out. Timberwatch Elf, Huntsmaster, Essence Warden keeps you alive until those cards come online, and it's very hard for them to win, especially after you put Longbow onto something. they have so many 1 toughness creatures with Cloud of Fairies, Spellstutter Sprites, um, Delvers that are unflipped, Delver of Secrets. And even if you can, even their 2 toughness guys, you can actually, with either Nettle Sentinel or Quirion Ranger, you can actually kill 2 toughness guys. And you can even kill, you can actually just trade card for card with Spire Golems. If you have a Rancor on something and they decide to block you, you can also just ping it with Return Longbow. Basically only losing your creature since you get Rancor back. So I don't know, I think the Fairies players have to adjust a little bit. They may not be familiar facing Spider Silk Armor or just the Elves match in general, since it's probably not a very popular deck. Moment's Peace, this was brought in for Teps, which I haven't seen yet, but also for some reason I seem to face a lot of Killing Fiend decks and Weed Dreadnoughts, and also for Infect, because they're sort of an all-in on 1 turn, you know, pump my guys, kill you in 1 turn. And so with Moment's Peace, you actually, you know, they don't do any damage. They wasted all their resources to hopefully kill you. The Bowmaster, this was put in because of Spider Silk Armor. When I saw Echoing Truth being played a lot, I realized I actually need to kill their guys instead of just sitting back on Spider Silk Armor. So the Bowmaster, I think, is the best choice. It's not only does it have reach itself and is a 2/2, but anytime you cast an elf, you get to do 2 points of damage to any creature with flying, which almost kills their entire army. So Gleeful Sabotage, this was brought in as far as sideboard cards go for Affinity. I played Affinity once, and if I would have drawn Gleeful Sabotage, I think in the first couple turns it might have been good. I'm still not sure if this is the best card to be running to deal with Affinity, but so I'm just going to go get some more games in here, if I can find the right area. And so, you know, if you guys see anything that you want changed, or if you have any suggestions as far as the videos go, just let me know, either on the forums at mtgsalvation.com or at pdcmagic.com. Or you can just send me a message on YouTube. I've gotten a couple messages for some different deck ideas, which I kind of like, but I'm not 100% sure if I'll be using those deck ideas in the future. Just because the ideas are pretty fringe. I think they'd end up being like a 2.5 tier 3 deck, just because of how they would have to be built and what they're trying to accomplish. So we got a pretty good hand. Depending upon what he lays, I might go for Priest of Titania. Cloud Post. I'm afraid the Priest is going to die, but if Priest can live this turn, I'll be doing okay. Hopefully it's not Seismic Shudder on second turn. Way to draw the 1 Seismic Shudder, or even okay, so it's blue-black Cloud Post. So unless he's running like Evankar's Justice, I'm not sure if there's instant. There's one instant. There is one instant black spell, but it costs 3 mana. So what I'd like to do here is I'd like to get Huntsmaster down, which I think I can. Let's see here. Let's get Nettle Sentinel. Yeah, we can go Nettle Sentinel, and we can get a bunch of elves, actually. We go Land Grant. And all of our Sylvan Rangers turn into 2/2s, which is good. As long as they don't screw it up here. That is okay. 4 mana, Huntsmaster. But the unfortunate part is we're going to be stuck with a bunch of lands in our hand. definitely want to go get one of our islands. I'm just going to get it now so I don't misclick. Well, that was a pretty good turn, turn 3 for us. I'm guessing Doomblading something, or Echoing Truth. Deadweight Priest. He knows that I don't have any other elves in my hand, so... I guess I probably should have played the island in case he has any sort of discard. No, okay. So, Cloud Post, blue-black. Again, lots of removal. Definitely want the 4 Thermal Karst in. Don't think Longbow is a good choice for us to have. So I'm going to put the Spider Silk Armors in. In this particular case, I'm going to take out 1 Rancor, even though Rancor is pretty good. I just don't want to be stuck with a bunch of Rancors in my hand and no creatures to suit up. So when I'm sideboarding in cards, you don't necessarily want to sideboard out creatures for spells, especially in this matchup when you're going to be losing lots of guys. Typically, you'll be losing lots of guys. What you'd actually like to do is just 1 for 1. Bring in creatures. Unfortunately, our sideboard only has 2 creatures, so and maybe maybe we should put some more Huntsmasters in the side, or maybe just some sort of token generation. Although I feel that a lot of Echoing Decays will be brought in, including Nausea or Shrivel. I feel like Birchlore Ranger can go out since we don't need blue anymore, and we'd like to actually keep some Rancors in, just because if we can get Rancor on something, that's actually really good for us. So I'm not going to have a 3rd turn LD spell, unless I get lucky. Definitely don't want to cast Land Grant now. But we want to go ahead and cast Nettle Sentinel. Our hand's a little bit slow, so we'd actually like to try to get as many attack phases in as possible. I'm also a little... We'll see which one I want to play first, if any of these elves live. Because tipping them off that I have double Thermal Karst, Spider Silk Armor, just allows them to plan his land drops better. But we'll see. Probably going to cast Deadweight in a Cloud Post, I'd imagine. Cloud Post. No Deadweight, so maybe he's got the other one. Don't remember the name off the top of my head. Instant -2/-2. I have a feeling that Priest is going to die here. Pretty good feeling about that. Maybe not now, but my guess would be this turn. If Priests live, that's actually really good for us. Well, not after a preordain. Bottom top, removal spell. Alright, well there's the Nausea. So we definitely want to attack. Quite honestly, I'm not sure if it's always right to get rid of the cloud posts. I feel it is, since the deck's name is Cloud Posts. Oh, but before I lay another Land of War Elves, I definitely want to make sure I get Spider Silk Armor out there. That's amusing. I'm trying to think if it runs, what counter spells this runs. Whether it's just condescends. It's funny that if I would have been on the play, this actually would have been a blowout. The priest would have been able to destroy 2 lands at once. In this particular case, I want to grab the island, only because I have enough forests, and I wanted to think that I still have Distant Melody, even though in reality we know we don't. Maybe I should have tried for a land to blow up, because I feel like he's going to cast Mold Drifter here. Okay, need one of those Rancors now. Maybe Longbow should have been kept in, because we would have gotten in, I think, 3 or 4 points of damage here already. And Spider Silk came a little bit late. I'm getting a little worried you might just cast Crusher naturally off of 8 lands, which would be very sad for me. Kind of hoping he doesn't have double nausea. Since one's already gone, he might be running 4. Good news is we only have 3 more land. Unfortunately, we also have 3 more land grant, so that's not good. Teachings, Echoing Decay, or Prohibit. I guess. Maybe he's already got the Echoing Decay in his hand. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe should have kept him in case I draw a Huntsmaster. Although obviously the Huntsmaster is not going to resolve until I can get Prohibit out of his hand. I have a real concern about Crusher here, actually. Alright, well, no Crusher this turn. One at the bottom, one at the top. Doesn't choose anything. I'm hoping he lets this resolve. If he wants to kill one thing, okay. But I get through 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, 10, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4 is 15. So unless he casts a bunch of stuff, I'm sure his hand is just fully removable, but we have to sort of start advancing the game here in a way that we can win. because the longer the game goes, the worse off it gets for us. Yeah, capsize is not good for us. See if I can get him to blow counterspell. The reason I kind of want to get rid of Cloud Post now is because I want to make sure his Glimmer Posts are not good. Fortunately, now I am going to lose an elf. Because I'm sure he's going to capsize Spider Silk Armor at the end of turn. No, prohibit this, although I doubt it. I can't imagine he'd prohibit this now. Maybe he's going to prohibit that next turn. Kill Nettle Sentinel, Last Grasp. Yeah, it's going to be bad for us. Strange. I'm surprised he didn't attack first. I'm just going to take another turn here and say done. So he only has capsize for Spider Silk Armor. The reason why I'm conceding is because he's got me in capsize lock, basically. Any permanent I play, he's going to be able to just bounce it. And it's going to be very, very tough for me to catch up, especially when he has 6 cards in hand. And I only have basically four sort of useless cards. Spider Silk Armor isn't necessarily useless, it's just not as great. It's funny that if Thermokarst had been either Rancor or Longbow, we would have been in pretty good shape there. I still feel it's the right choice though. Maybe one less Spider Silk Armor, even though he's running at least double Nausea. No instance that we saw unless he was holding on to Echoing Decay. I think I want Longbow. Unfortunately, we may get blown out by Nausea. But that's alright. I shouldn't say it's alright, but I mean it's not. Actually, you know, we might just go like this. Well, it's got to have the Nausea. Nausea. Any other Nausea. So, what's our best options here? I'm actually just going to cast Land Grant. The reason for that is, there's Glimmer Post. Compulsive Research maybe here. Or we're just going to deadweight that guy. No Condescend. Can't imagine he wouldn't cast it there. Gives him a free turn, basically. Or if he's got more disfigures. Kind of need to... Not gonna lie, I kind of need to keep a guy into play. Okay, so... Well, the good thing is he doesn't have Cloud Post. Otherwise we'd be in big trouble. Well, now I'm hoping I get a land. No, Thermal Karst is not a land. And again, the reason I want to get rid of Glimmer Post is in case you get any more. I also don't want Cloud Post to be worth more. So he only gains 1 instead of 2. Oops, cast those guys right wrong. Let's see if he gets Mystical Teachings. No Mystical. So he's got 5 cards. There's another dead weight. No Mystical Teachings. Didn't use a counter spell there, so his hand has got to be pretty much just removal. Doesn't seem like it's anything else. Didn't lay land. Guess he's got another Prohibit here. Means they run Prohibit, but not Condescend. 6 mana. So that was 3 dead weights, 1 Disfigure, 1 Nausea, Preordained. Did lay a land this turn. And I'm just going to grab the island. Did have a Last Grasp. Oh, that was good for us. So he's down to 2 cards. See if one's a Nausea. See, Oracle's not good for us, although that means Huntsmaster stays alive. Oh, there's Cloud Post, so that's not good. I kind of want to wait just to get value, but I actually don't want to run into another Prohibit, even though it may be only a 1 or 2 of. Anytime that he starts getting Cloud Post going, this is never good for me. So let's capsize with buyback on something. Huntsmaster. It's unfortunate that I drew another land. Trying to think if the 1 life is going to be more important than another attacker. I think in my case, since I'm losing the race, I actually need the 1 life more than I need another attacker. If he has Mystical Teachings for Last Grasp, obviously, that's not good. Guess we could have got a token out of it, which probably would have been better than the 1 life. But we kind of knew this matchup was going to be hard anyway. Him having capsize also is not good. You know, one of his cards capsized, but he also has Mystical Teachings on buyback, so that's... It's not looking good. Not looking good. Thermokarst doesn't really do us any good. The reason for that is he's just going to capsize it. I think I'm just going to give it one more turn. The unfortunate part is, if I was him, I'd probably Mystical Teachings for something. Maybe some card draw. Mysteries of Deep. Definitely would not be... Yeah, that's just me. You know, returning a single land to my hand when I already have 4 in play, and I'm an elf deck, is not... to me, I don't know. I don't think it's the correct strategy. Maybe all you post players, maybe you can tell me if that's right or not. But I definitely feel Mystical Teachings would have been better there to get. This is a Crusher, right? No, Torch. Maybe you guys can tell me if that's right or not as far as capsizing a single land. Maybe he was afraid of counter magic, but I'm pretty sure Torch is. I gotta pay 2 more, which I guess he was fearful of. Not really sure. Oh well, we'll try to get another quick one in here. I wasn't expecting Torch. With that type of deck, I'm not sure if that's the right call either, but that's just my opinion. And this island. This is not a good hand. So when you're thinking about mulliganing, you should think about what type of deck your hand is going to beat. And the only thing that this deck has a chance of beating would be, I would say, White Weenie maybe. If they don't get the Vacation, Chavalier. Maybe Teps that don't have Grape Shot. Other than that, this is a pretty bad hand. Almost all of our 4-drops. This unfortunately is not great either, but technically has a land, so of course we're going to be up against Mono Green Aggro or Infect. Maybe it's Green Post. We haven't seen that for a while. Queer and Druid was probably the best card we could have got there. Don't think this is Mono Green Aggro because they have so many 1-drops. I think this is probably going to be Infect. So we definitely want to get Queer and Ranger out there first. Priest, and then Bow active ASAP. At least my limited testing with Bow against Infect. You always want to make sure that you ping them on your turn, or basically on our turn, so that way they can't use the pump spell for value, basically. I'm trying to think if there's a faster way to get Priest out there with a bunch of mana. Blight Mamba would be my guess. No, so this is Mono Green Aggro. Well, that changes what I want to do a little bit. I still want to try to get Priest down, but I also want to get Essence Warden out ASAP also. So Essence Warden, Birchlore Ranger. I can't cast both. The reason I want to get Priest out there now is because I can draw up 4 cards. Can I guess I could untap one of them by returning a forest to generate the necessary mana. I think that's going to be right. Because unless he has Hornet's Sting, he can't really interact with us. So that's always a good thing. So I'm going to go Birchlore Rangers, cast. I'm not so concerned about Verdurn Longbow now. would actually like to have the extra mana in play, but obviously getting Priest down is a lot better for us. Alright, so we should be able to draw a bunch of cards next turn. I'm going to see a couple blood, what is it? Scrag pits. Okay. He gets me to 17, which is pretty good. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I may wait a turn here just so I can get more mana. Actually, you know what? I have Querin Ranger. I don't know what I'm thinking. But we're definitely going to play this guy first. Go get our island. Alright, let's see, who do we want to keep? Definitely want to keep these two guys. So blue, 5. Oh, 7, I forgot it counts his elves too. That's even better for us. This should be a good turn for us. We still have access to blue mana. And we can still untap Priest. Well, I was hoping for a little bit better, but you know, I'm not going to complain really. So let's get Longbow out there. Maybe I should have kept one of these guys untapped so that way I could have pinged something twice without having to return a forest. Because right now I gotta equip here. Shoot. Untap Priest. And actually, you know what? I might just keep these in hand so I can sort of ping a bunch of times with Nettle Sentinel. I've never actually tried it, so because these guys aren't really going to do me a whole lot of good next turn. Like, I have plenty of mana. Although I kind of have to now, since I got to play at least the Ranger. You know what? I'll just sort of bite the bullet on that one. Chalk it up to my mistake. We should be at 19, if that's going to matter. Which it may. You never know. Although, even if he has 12 points of pump spell, I only take 17. Which obviously taking 17 is not good, but I'm not dead either. Actually, what I really needed was a Timberwatch Elf. But we do get 4 pings in with Nettle Sentinel. So we'll see if we can make him waste all of his pump defensively. I'm guessing he had to read Verduran Longbow. I will take the 5. Wish we had some instants. That would have been nice. Okay, Quartering Ranger I'm not concerned about. Because, quite frankly, him untapping stuff, I'm not really afraid of. Yep. We get one more green creature, we can actually just mow down his entire team except for Ledgewalker. Quite honestly, I like that idea. I don't think any guys died this turn. Strange that he's casting that now. Okay, well. One. I'm just gonna tap Priest for a ton of mana. Yes. Two. See if he's got Lieutenant Growth, or I'm not sure what he's going to use. Oh. He's going to use the concede button, which is good also. I actually don't think we want to change anything. Well, maybe Rancors, because the thing is we just want to live. Like, our deck, if it gets to the late game, like, you can't stop Timberwatch Elf. Typically the only way he's going to be able to interact with us is with Hornet Sting. Although Rancor is good, I do like the longbow in this matchup a lot more. Excuse me. I would think playing mono green aggro would be a little bit quicker. Well, my guess is he probably doesn't really have a sideboard for elves. Because, let's face it, elves is not really a deck. So, again, this is good. We'll see if he burns a Hornet Sting on Essence Warden. I'm thinking I might just run the Priest out there. I'm not 100% sure yet. Really just want to snap block. Make him burn a Groundswell. That is not good for us, actually, at all. Definitely not going to play Priest this turn. I wish I had that Rancor. I wish I would have blocked. Suit him up. Send him in. Suit. And send. Which permanent you control? If he doesn't have Groundswell, I'd be quite surprised. Unless, of course, he's got another Shins of... what is this guy? Shin of Life's Roar. Okie dokie. Yep. Well, wasn't necessarily Groundswell, but it was a creature, or a pump spell, I mean. Only because I don't like you, Ice Age, Findhorn Elves. You will be going to the deathbed. Still in pretty good shape here as long as he doesn't have that second pump spell. Which, since he laid a land, I'm guessing he does have Groundswell. Well, that was good for us. So he's going to have a creature or a bunch of land. This being at 15 isn't great, so he's got Rancor, and he's got Rancor. So, good thing is, those guys are elves. We know that his hand is Rancor. So, cast this guy, cast Priest. Cast Land Over Elves. The reason why I cast Land Over Elves is because I'd like to be able to tap them for mana next turn. Gotta kind of hope for a big turn here next turn off Distant Melody. My guess is he's gonna suit up a Safehold Elite. I'm gonna take 6. 9. Obviously that's not a good. 9's not a great number. Definitely a land, so no Groundswell. If he drew his Hornet Sting, I must say I'll be very disappointed. Ooh, that guy's good. Let's see. We definitely want to cast all our guys before we draw. Don't want to attack with Nettle Sentinel. Just because we want as many elves in play at this point, because we're so far behind. So I have to live next turn. I may have to do some chumping here somewhere. Oh, I used my blue mana. Not the smartest move on my part. In my haste to make sure that I kept my elves untapped, I tapped my blue. Just me getting overexcited about Timberwatch Elf. So, I'm probably going to block one of the Safehold Elites. Doesn't really do me to block the one with Rancor on it. It makes him use a mana, but he's already got 4 mana, so. I'm going to lose on the card on Distant Melody. Yeah, not so great to tap the island. Like to tap you, Land Over Elves. That's definitely not good for us, because now all of our guys are going to die. Well, at least the ones we care about. I wish I had moment's peace now. I'll probably be left with Nettle Sentinel, Llanowar Elves. Yeah, that's the way I would have arranged them. No, let's see if I can come back from my screw up here. Well, if I lose this match, it'll be because of my own mistake. But hopefully it doesn't have groundswell. Actually, I kind of do, because that would put me out of my misery here. We should just attack with one guy. Because I can't really block with Essence Warden. Oh, there was Hornet Sting. Well, we know he doesn't have a pump spell, as he would have killed me last turn. We'll just risk it. Let's see what happens here. The unfortunate part is I pretty much have to block with all my guys just to make sure I don't die here. Just so I don't die to a hornet sting, because that would be terrible. Well, at least one of his cards is a land. The other one he probably drew for the turn. So if it's a Scrag Pit, we're dead. Ledgewalker, we're dead. Or if he's just got a bunch of lands in his hand, that works too. A little late, Moment's Peace, but... okay. So that's not good. We can live for 2 turns. Let's see what he does. If we can get Coin Ranger, we could actually kill him next turn. Is that right? 5. No, I think we only get through for 10. Well, doesn't matter now. Oh, that's nice. Pretty good top deck on our part. Hopefully he just attacks with both guys. Hopefully he didn't draw a Hornet Sting, because that would make me really sad. He might probably just attack with Ledgewalker. But I have a feeling he's going to attack with both. Or just attack with... what's this guy's name? Pit Skulk. I have this terrible feeling I'm going to attack and then he's going to Hornet Sting, which will sort of a dick thing to do, but whatever. Alright, well, even with my horrible screw up, I still ended up winning the game, so we'll see you next time. Bye.